The first panel discussion of the day, and a very interesting topic. Now, the topic is real estate sales, the market, the how. And the topic of discussions is preparing innovative financial models for sales and marketing, new ways of advertising and branding for macro and micro markets, and harnessing the potential of social media and digital marketing. Very hot as of now. So I would request you to please give a very warm welcome to our panelists, starting with Mr. Jayesh Rathod, the Director of the Guardian's Real Estate Advisory. Hello. Good to see you, sir. Next panelist is Mr. Varun Mehta, Director, M Space Realty. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Let's welcome them. A warm round of welcome. Good afternoon. Mr. Swapnil Patil, co-founder, ASAP Realtech. Mr. Ankit Shah, founder, Good Old Delights. You can see the ladies on my right, they have a smile on their faces. Ms. Nehal Vora, DGM Marketing of Runwal Developers. And our moderator for this session is Mr. Vidanshu Kedia, Director, Presscon Group. So we have the panelists. It's great to see you. So I'm going to ask you, how were the sessions so far? Great. So if you like something, it's a very simple way of communicating. It's known as non-verbal communication. If you like something, you put your hands together. If you like something a lot, you put your hands together, but a little louder. So can we have it for all the sessions that we had till now? And I have a special prize for the most energetic person in the room. I have something very special for you. What? I'll let you know later. But I hand it over to the moderator. Hello, Mr. Kedia. It's all yours.
Thank you. So next gen. I think most of us have heard stories from our elders about the golden days, right? When even before the plans were made, even before the land was sometimes acquired, there was a line to purchase apartments. Too bad for us, those times are gone, right? This is about how, as developers, we need to plan, execute, create a feedback loop, and then follow on with our sales strategies across the sales life cycle of our projects. As we all know, after freezing the plans, we need to identify our target group, reach the customer, engage them, and bring them to closure as fast as possible in this hyper-competitive market. As our seniors, Mr. Runwal has said that sales are going to slow down now because of the various macroeconomic reasons. So we have expert panelists from like multiple organizations, years of experience. So without any further ado, here we go. So the first question is around storytelling and go-to-market. So each developer, each location and each product has a story, right? How do you formulate the story basis the product and the developer and the location? First question to Jayesh Bhai. Jayesh Bhai, I think this is your domain.
Hi, good morning all of you. So thanks for this opportunity and inviting for this panel discussion, Vidanshu Bhai. Storytelling, I'll pick up that word. I must say, storytelling is just like making any film, you know. How in film there is a hero. Either he is very happy with his girlfriend or a problem. He has a villain, he has a family to look after, he has everything in his life as far as problems are concerned, and very few has an opportunity to feel good about. But having said that, still he will, ends are always good in majority of the movie. Same way we wish in real estate also, storytelling, the end should be good and we achieve the number. Compared to the same, if I'll, do the analogy, I must say that let's take a customer is a hero in real estate.
Of course, sir.
Right? Competition is a villain. I mean, for the project which we take.
Correct, sir.
Family is there of customers, etc. But Vidanshu bhai, you just now said that we make product and then we find the customer. I should say other way around. In storytelling, you first identify your hero, who is your buyer, what is he looking for, what villains are providing, competition is providing what rate they are selling, what amenities, everything which they beautified to sell their story to the customer, which is our hero. So you identify your hero, what he wants, make the product accordingly around the same, based on his need and the need gap and the demand supply gaps which is there. It doesn't end there. Like how a good movie required promotion, like say recent all the movies which you see, even the actors have gone on the floor and started promoting the movie. Same way, we have to do a good promotion, a good positioning, a good marketing strategy which is required to tell the hero that here is your problem and I have a solution, must visit my site and do the closure. 7 P's of marketing which we learn all in the MBAs, but it's very valid over here and cover that all 7 in your storytelling as far as real estate is concerned. A right product, a good location which is a place, a process, because without process of sales nowadays we cannot achieve the volume. A good packaging is required, sales office, show flats, brochures, etc., etc., etc. Promotional activities and tools, which are all ATL and BTL is required you at the site. People, when I covered in that 7 P's of one of them, is a channel partner you cannot ignore, because 60 to 70% of the sales happens through them only even today. And all that leads to a perception which you break and make your hero understand that yes, there is a deal over here. He'll come and make a purchase with you. So that's
Very
my
well
view
said,
as far
sir.
as role
That was really insightful. एक चीज भूल गई, डायरेक्टर यहाँ पर डेवलपर्स को का भी स्टोरी बोलना पड़ता है, because अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन प्रोजेक्ट लेने के लिए डेवलपर का स्टोरी इंपॉर्टेंट है. So what is your strategy on that? Yes, and then I'll pull it to someone from Rundwal who actually says their story very well.
So our experience as Guardian says that selling under construction is very easy, because people, in story you have to leave it everything to the visualization of the buyer. Unfortunately, in a nearing possession or a ready possession project, they will see what is view, what is, etc. The prices are high. He has to pay 80 to 90% upfront money for any nearing possession and ready. Under construction selling is very easy. Our major portfolio is under construction, whereby we achieve 65% of the target. And coming back to the price and etc., see, when he'll see, it's not about only rate. In today's scenario, people want some payment flexibility also. A good payment schedule, optional CLP, relaxed CLP, subvention. Builder subvention I'll not advise obviously for an under construction properties or just launch, but certainly the earlier 3 mentions is the main criteria where not only price, but a good product and a payment schedule is a good mix, which helps customer to make a purchase decision for any under construction property, irrespective of the brand.
Thank you, sir. So Nehal from Rundwal will tell us how you guys communicate your brand story, because that is something which is very important for developers to communicate. When will the project get completed? What is the backing? What is the capabilities of the developer itself? So please.
First of all, wishing all of you all a very good afternoon, and thank you so much for having us here. I'll agree with what Sir just said, that storytelling is very important. I just beg to differ a little. In case of an under construction, I think we as developers, we become the director. We help the customer see a picture that we intend to deliver. Back here at Rundwal, we take immense pride in saying that we promised our partners, our customers, they believed in us and we deliver. The best and the most important role that storytelling plays is connecting our various stages of the project, which is pre-launch, teaser, launch, sustenance, and right at the fag end in terms of possession. I think what we as developers, we have in mind what our objective of designing that project is best told in a storytelling way, picking up the right points, saying my hero is this is his problem, this is what the competition is giving or not giving. So here is my product which is befitting, which is serving your purpose. It's best told as a story because you have so much of journey with that one particular customer. If I had to give a couple of examples, we have a massive township at Dombivli which is under construction. immense competition. But, you know, we went out and we asked the people, the locals, of what is it that you all want. Understanding their needs, we said, fine, here is what we are going to design to ensure that it is serving your purpose. It's not about just making a house. It's about giving them what they're looking for. So I think, yes, that's where...
So is there any tools that you use to gather this information, or is it just a manual hearsay process?
I'd say there are various formats to it, right from interacting with people to interacting with partners. Of course, there's primary, secondary researches that we do. There's no tool as such, and if there would be, I think as developers, we're soon getting there. Technology and the role that it is playing is phenomenal. It's changed the way it has operated in last, say, 5 to 7 years. And we're looking forward for further learning and getting to that stage where we can utilize it.
Thank you, Nehal.
Thank
Very
you.
good answer. Thank you. My next question is launch. When we prepare the story, now it's time to do the launch, right? So what are the kinds of launches and what are the factors to consider prior to launching a project? So my first question goes to Varun from M-Space.
Hello. Hello. Thank you, Vidhanshu. See, for the launch, what we experience is that we need to penetrate the market first. The most important will be the sourcing. Just as the ma'am told and the sir told about the hero or what the market is required over there, the sizing of the apartment or the sizing of the layout what we have. If it is a bigger layout, say of around 1 million or a 500,000 square feet, then the entire launch will be at some other level. If the developer is coming up with a grand launch, he should go with a 360-degree, where he should first penetrate with the entire local market, because 60% of your buyer is from your closed market, maybe within a 5-kilometer radius. Definitely you need to come with a bank so that the people get aware, and that curiosity or that penetration give you a more footfall with a velocity in a fastest way. Just sir told around 60-65% of the inventory they sold in a launch phase. That will be the actual numbers, honestly, because the reason is what developer want is the cash flow, and the cash flow can only generate with the actual sales.
And what are the payment plans that
CLP,
is attractive for customers at this stage?
CLP and the many banks are not supporting for that, but at least a deferred payment kind of a thing, a bullet plan or something, where customer get inclined to get the booking done right now. Maybe a 10-10-10 for a bullet kind of a thing, or 20-30, or whatever the scheme suits to a developer cash flow.
Swapnil bhai, I'd let you add some more points to that. And I think Jayesh bhai is also raring to speak on this. He's the master of launches as well. So after you, I'll take him for this one.
Sure. Hello. Thank you so much. Kudos to NextGen for curating such a innovative and futuristic event. I think sales is going to be, the future for real estate. Just taking on from there, it's a myth that sales starts after IOD, CC, and then when we launch the product. I feel sales actually, starts right from the day when you take the project. It's at a greenfield stage, right? So that's where, people like us should get on board, where we help you do the demand analysis, we do the market competition analysis, and the right price discovery also. I think these are the 3 pillars based on which you can design the product. Like Jay said, also the consumer behavior. I'll just give you a small example of consumer behavior and the way data is consumed by the consumer, because it's very dynamic. If you see the last decade, the way the ads or medium was consumed by the consumer, it was very different. So I'll just give you an example of, say, Cadbury. Cadbury till about 2003, 2004, they were only targeting kids. So primarily target audience for them were kids only. they soon realized that the markets have saturated, the kids are growing, and the kids who were 7-year-old probably have moved to say 10-year, 15-year, and they have stopped consuming this because then it was a cliche that you are consuming Cadbury or Dairy Milk when you are 15 years old. So then they realized this mistake, and they soon changed their strategy, and they came up with this ad, "Ye swad hai zindagi ka." So if you all remember that girl waving, and she was running around the field. So then the communication that went through was that it's not only for kids, but it's a part of every celebration. Then they moved from kid to teens to family. They started advertising celebration and replacing the sweets in Diwali, right? So the point I'm trying to make here is, every time you go to a newer market, you try to do the consumer behavior analysis, you try to do the demand analysis, competition, and the pricing. When all of this is set, you come out with a product which is desirable, which is sellable in the market. And then, like Jayesh said, you focus on the promotional strategies. So when we go for a launch, typically, we try to do the competition analysis, because every customer today who's going to come to your site, he's going to visit your competition, right? So what is competition offering? What are they proposing? How are they differentiating from your product? It's very, very important for you to know that. Because the moment sits on your the customer sits on your table and he talks about 3 more projects, you should be in a position to tell him that, okay, we have studied this project and these are the interesting things in the project, but this is where we score better than that project. So I think having understanding of the competition is one of the key things which I feel when you go for a launch is very, very critical. Also the positioning of the product. Maybe there are 5 projects in that vicinity, but I want to position myself very differently. Even though they are competition, I want to position myself in a very separate space where I probably be the top of the mind, right? So whenever a customer thinks luxury in that micro market, maybe I want to position myself as a luxury product, so that when he wants a luxury product, he only thinks about my project. If I'm in the affordable segment and maybe I'm a zero wastage layout kind of apartment, I want to position myself that way. So somewhere who is not happy, somebody with the layouts, with the planning of the project, he thinks about me when he thinks about zero wastage apartment. So the positioning of the product is very, very critical when it comes to launch. And thirdly, of course, the reach. Because what happens is, the developer earlier used to sit and they used to think that the brokers and the customers are going to come to them. Like you said, those golden days are gone now. You have to reach the customer. It's similar to the paradigm shift that has happened with banking. We used to go to the banks, right? The customer used to go to the bank. Now today, if you see, there are 5 bankers chasing HNI, right, for that space. So that's the shift.
And then there are neobanks.
Absolutely, there is so much competition. Yes. So I think that's the paradigm shift that has happened. It will keep happening. Also, marketing is upskilling. So like in IT, the technology is changing at a sonic pace, right? So all the IT developers who are sitting here today, they are working on one language. Tomorrow they might have to learn and work on a different language. It's a new thing. Likewise, I think marketing is also upskilling. There is no thumb rule for any launch, any product. It's all very dynamic, very, very evolving. You have to understand and you have to design your strategies. So that's my 2 bits about it.
Thank you so much. To Jayesh Bhai, I think Jayesh Bhai, I would like to ask you a specific question about launch, which I have experienced with you as well. So what is the importance of the environment and mahol, जो हम लोग create करते हैं, बेचने का mahol? What is the importance of that in selling a product today?
So I'll express this, into 2 different phases. Like you said, launch, right? Now, whenever the project comes for us to sell, majorly it comes at a launch stage, new project. But there are projects which are at mid stage also. There are projects which are nearing possession also. There are projects which is ready with OC but still not moving on also. Customer perspective, if I represent, which I am here right now, that he would like to know that it is a launch, irrespective of the stage of the project, honestly speaking. So, for example, if a project is newly launched in your case, then obviously, let's go a little bit before. It's not a launch, it's a pre-launch. He thinks that if it is a pre-launch project, there is some opportunity, the rate is better, the inventory I'll get it, the payment schedule I'll get it. I will be the first mover advantage if I'll go in pre-launch and make a purchase. Then comes to a launch stage. Like suppose you achieved 60-65% of the inventory which you are targeted to be launched, then there will be slowdown because every market will have certain absorption in that particular time period, which you should know. Once that is over, then it is a launch. Then you may reveal again a new actual name of the project, still go out in the market. He will find, okay, now it's something new which is coming on. Then comes to a nearing possession, if I'll explain you like that. Suppose project is nearing possession, you take as a passcode or the code name route perspective, and he feels there is something opportunity. Believe you me, we experience it, that irrespective of all that marketing gamut we do, the buyer is the same.
Yes.
सेम माइक्रो मार्केट सेम बायर जो शायद लॉन्च पे आया होगा नहीं लिया होगा वो वापस नियरिंग पोजीशन पे नया पासकोड नया कोड नेम लेके अगर हम जाते हैं ना वही कस्टमर्स आके वही खरीद के जाते हैं सो द ओनली all this common which is in all this is what Vedanshu is the urgency we create. Correct. The moment you know that you have to see, it is like sharpening the axe. The more you prepare, the more you do marketing, the more you do positioning, the more payment schedules, etc. You prepare thoroughly, then you go all out, reach the maximum distributions through the broker and a required ATL, BTL combination of marketing. Ensure there is a funnel created. I actually learned from Sidco. Like how Sidco does. First he does demand registration survey, 10,000 रुपया दो and participate in the lottery. 50,000, 10,000, 40,000 applications आती है. He'll get to know कौन सा buyer है, किधर रहता है, क्या चाहिए, कितनी price में चाहिए. Create that funnel. Call one day everybody at site.
Like a road show.
Like a road show.
Investment banking road show. Yeah.
So what is selling
Book
in
building.
all the gamut Vedanshu is the urgency and the fear of loss that if I don't buy today, I may not get this opportunity to make a purchase, my dream home in the project, which though I have seen it long back, but yes, I should buy it today. And that is applicable to affordable homes also and to a luxury projects also.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for your inputs. Great, great guys. Now I'm going to move over launch. We've launched the project, right? We've got a bunch of data. We've got conversions now. How do you go back to the drawing board? How do you understand what data points to kind of look at to sharpen your targeting? Because ultimately you are building for a customer, right? So how do we reach that customer? As developers, we have to worry about costs as well, right? So how do we reach that particular customer for which this product has been made? So I'll ask Ankit to speak on that. So twofold, reach and optimization of costs.
Good afternoon, guys. Thank you so much for asking me this question. Before that, I would like to say that we spoke about how to tell the story, how to go in the market. But one thing which is very important is which medium or which source to reach out your target audience is very important. We may have a lot of clients or target audience, but firing all the guns without knowing will not make any sense. So we need to understand who is your target audience first, which platform or which medium to be used. And as you rightly asked that, what all things we should do in case of understanding the funnel or the leads. There are a lot of tools, a lot of technology which has come today. All the technology or the analysis which we generate leads has to be monitored, filtered, and worked upon every day. Through UTM source code, say for example, we can understand that which customer has come from which keyword and has purchased, or what is the status. They have come to the site and they are not purchased. So all those analyses are very, very, very important to understand what is the next step which we should take. And based on those things, we should focus on more sales-driven technology, which has helped us in the past during the launch, and we should continue that thing. It will help us to reduce the cost per lead as well, and we should understand the cost per acquisition of the lead as well, which is quite important. It will help us to reduce the cost.
Thank you, Ankit. Do you want to say a couple of words?
I think in terms of reaching the audience, one has to understand the primary set of audience and the secondary set of audience. Like we all are aware, in terms of real estate, there is a 5 to 7 or 10 kilometer which will become our primary audience. With digital being the way to go to ensure costs are optimized and we're reaching a larger volume, I think surround also plays an equally important role. They might not be proven, but I think now increasingly as a customer, I'll see something on an outdoor, I'll hear about something on a radio. My immediate instance is to pick up my phone and look up about it. I might not see the same number and call. But I think couple of times, and sir will agree over here, that we've seen a trend where if I'm doing an ad or if I'm doing a set of outdoor, there will be a organic spike in my digital. And please correct me if anybody has a different opinion. So I think, yes, digital first is the way to go. But if we want to capture volumes, if we want to do an impact, then surround is equally, ATL is equally important.
Great. Thank you everyone for the 2 or 3 questions we've done till now. I think this particular section will be just one sentence strategy. We as developers cannot be in launch mode throughout the life cycle of the project, right? So according to our experts here, what is one strategy that you must adopt to keep the scoreboard ticking across the life cycle of the project? I'll start with you, Nihal.
I think, yes, we cannot be in a launch phase. There will be saturation. There will be the fag end of absorption. Therein, the closure tool is the most important to create the sense of urgency. That certain amount of incentivization, that certain amount of value addition becomes the most important. Second thing which is important is from the drawing board, from where we start to where we have reached, there will be improvisation at a product level also. That becomes my next story. So I might not do a complete launch, but yes, I will go back to that base of audience and say, I've understood that this is something more that you're looking for, and this is how I'm accommodating. Please come visit us, understand more about it, and then maybe you have a change of opinion. Sure. That is equally important. Every time it is not possible to keep spending crores in terms of the media spend. I think one benchmark that we've all followed is about 20-30% of my spend gets absorbed at my launch. There's another 40 which stays in my sustenance. And then another fag end where my product is ready. So I can give a very different experience. I think like Sir rightly mentioned, strategizing and understanding of what is your strength, sure, and going your strength first is the way.
Thank you. Ankit. One thing I would like to say, I don't think your mic is working. Just one sentence, and then we'll move to the next question.
Constant change in the campaigns throughout the cycle of the project.
Keeping it fresh.
Keep it fresh, yes.
Okay.
Every 2 months we need a fresh campaign constantly, sure, to make sure we are in the market. Yeah,
thank you. Swapnil bhai.
So we've experienced this, during the sustenance, right? So it's very critical to identify the hole in the funnel. Okay. So when you have walk-ins, the conversions from walk-in to revisits to closures, I think if you're able to identify that hole and plug that, right? If you know that there are lesser of number of revisits, you have to identify the problem. Why less number of revisits if we have 400 walk-ins, and why only 10 revisits, right? So if you're able to identify that hole, you will be able to put more customers down the funnel towards the closure. So I think that is very critical when it comes to sustenance.
Thank you, sir.
What we will have an experience is at the time of a launch, you get a good numbers of closers, and the rest is the spillover, what the walk-ins we are there with us. That the team need to follow up more and more and try to get the revisits and get the closers. Not today, maybe after 2 or 3 or 6 months, but the same audience is going to repeat at your project. Not the entire, but at least if 20% will the same buyer who has already visited at the launch phase. That buyer are the people who are willing to wait, maybe at a higher cost. They are comfortable. They want to see the performance of the project also. You launch the project, then within 6 months or 5 months or maybe 3 months, they just want to see the stage of construction.
That returning,
yes,
and proving your might.
Yes.
Right? Correct.
So you need, as a developer also, we need to perform, we need to show that we have started the construction, we have completed the planes, we have reached to this X level of slabs, and that customer is waiting for the project. They are okay with the price rise and everything, but just they want a confidence of a developer so that they can definitely come and book the flats.
Thank you. Jayesh bhai.
Sustenance sale, according to me, in one line, as you said, it's all about working on what has worked for you in the launch.
Okay.
Worked on channel partners, which has given you maximum contribution, worked on the inventory, which has given you the good average rate, worked on the ATL, BTL, whichever channel has given you maximum cost-effective leads, work on that. So worked on what has worked for you in the launch, and very focused during those monthly target is the sustenance mantra, according to us.
Thank you, sir. So my next question is around activations, right? A lot of developers have multiple strategies. Two common strategies are, launch one in the beginning, launch one in the end, and that's it. That's all you need to do. So I want to know from the panelists, how many activations are required, whether large, small, and in what stages of the project. So I'd like to first ask Union.
I think he rightly pointed out there has to be freshness, there has to be newness. So yeah, I think each quarter is an activation, or perhaps each month is an activation, because to keep that consistent communication, you will have to reach out to them. Could be a skin change, could be a line change, could be a sense of price going up or going down, discounting, festive. I think it's very important to keep in touch with our audience base. If we have the bandwidth and the budgets, we could go large scale. If we do not, then sustenance is where we will be. But keep in touch, constantly, consistently keep in touch. That is important.
Thank you. Sir.
So, again, activation, just to go back to the drawing board again, I would suggest that every project is a brand building exercise for a developer. A lot of developers actually overlook this. They say, मेरे को माल बेचना है, निकल जाना है. So, but I feel for every developer, every project, because in a life cycle of a person, he might be able to do, say, about 10, 15, 20 projects, I don't know, when they start, right? So, every project is a brand building opportunity for a developer. So, I feel what Neha also said, I'll reiterate that. For the activation, you go back to the channel partners, obviously, in a multiple way, right? So we also do first launch activation, where we probably have a CP event, channel partner event, in a big way. You tell them about the product, yeah, it's a presentation. On a regular basis, the sourcing team will have to make an effort to get these channel partners engaged. So I would not call it activation at sustenance. It is more of engagement with the channel partners that you do. Right? In multiple ways. You can float a new CP ladder for them, or probably you can announce some incentive scheme where you tell them that at the month end, if there are so many bookings, then we probably give you this and that. So that engagement with the channel partners is very critical, because there are so many projects launching in that micro market. If a channel partner loses interest in your project, probably you will never be able to get him back. It's like if you are doing a gym and you leave it for about half a month, it's very difficult to get back to the gym, right? So it's as difficult as that. If you have a channel partner, and if he leaves your project for once, it's very difficult to get him back to your project. So that engagement will have to be keep ticking. And correct me if I'm wrong, but going forward, there will be so much competition, because there is about 2.5 crore of FSI which has been released, right? All these projects are coming over a period of time. Now, there are few critical things as a developer that you'll have to keep in mind. There are so many projects which are going to be in the same micro market, competing for the same client. The set of client is same. There are very few clients who are going to come to this micro market and buy. So you will have to be at the top of the mind for the customer, right? And for that, whenever there is a customer, he looks at a brand. So as important as we feel sales and marketing is, I think brand creation, enduring that brand value, is also equally important. So take it as an opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I think we'll have to close the panel. We're running late, so thank you, everyone. We'll just facilitate all the panelists here.
So first and foremost, I would like to thank the panelists for your valuable time and your knowledge and judgment. Thank you very, very much for that. And I'm going to ask one question to Mr. Kedia. Is this the first time you're moderating a session? No? Because it felt like you were outstanding. I need Vedanshu ke liye ek baar zordar taaliyan because what questions? Outstanding. So can we request Mr. Anuj Khetan to join us on stage and present a token of appreciation to Mr. Jayesh Rathod. Mr. Khetan. Requesting Ms. Grishma Savla to join us on stage and present a memento to Mr. Varun Mehta. Requesting Mr. Rhythm Gada to join us on stage and present a fondest token of appreciation to Mr. Swapnil Patil. Requesting Mr. Amish Dutt to present a token of appreciation to Mr. Ankit Shah. Requesting Kapil Gulati, Mr. Kapil Gulati to join us on stage and present our warmest token of appreciation to Ms. Nehal Bohra. And finally requesting Mr. Jaydeep Mehta to join us on stage and present a token of appreciation to our moderator, Vedanshu Kedia. Can I request all the moderators, the moderator and the panelists to step forward for a group photograph? And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a huge round of applause for a wonderful session at NAREDCO Next Gen